Hello and welcome to the Daily Space for today, Wednesday, September 26th, 2019. Around here, Wednesdays mean just one thing, and that thing is it's time to do a weekly update on all things rocket related. Now, you may have been expecting to see Tink and Puck. You may be expecting to see Annie, but they are all off having a week of, well, much deserved not being here. And I am happy to fill in, but this does mean I'm going to be working much more closely from a script than normal. And I am very, very grateful to our instro, David Ballard, for everything he did to write this script. And I see I have some audio issues. Okay. Sorry about that. The audio issues should now be fixed. I'm going to start again to give Annie a clean beginning. Not Annie, Susie. I'm sorry, Susie. I'm sorry, audience. Hello and welcome to the Daily Space for today, September 26th, 2019. Today is Wednesday. Actually, today is September 25th. Hello and welcome to the Daily Space for today, Wednesday, September 25th, 2019. I am your host for today, Pamela Gay. I am not Annie Wilson, who normally is here on Wednesdays. She and Tink and Puck are taking a much-deserved day away from being here. While I am very happy to fill in, as she likes to say, she knows enough astronomy to be dangerous. Well, I know enough rocketry to be dangerous. And I have to give full kudos to our instro, David Ballard, who is the writer for this episode. So today we're going to be doing a quick rundown of all things that launched, tried to land, and will be launching in the future. So without further ado, let's start with the things that actually did launch. On Sunday, September 22nd, a pair of third-generation Beidou navigation satellites were lofted aboard a Chinese Long Mach 3B. They launched early Monday morning, local time, from Kaicheng Space Center in the Sichuan province in southwest China. These were the 47th and 48th satellites in this constellation to be launched, and U.S. military tracking data indicates that they've been deployed into a nearly circular orbit inclined about 55 degrees relative to the Earth's equator. And they're in an orbit at an altitude that is significantly higher than that of the International Space Station, orbiting 13,000 miles or 20,900 kilometers up. The China Academy of Launch Vehicle Technology, CALT, the state-owned contractor for the Long Mach booster, has confirmed that the satellites have been successfully placed in their desired orbits. These were the fourth and fifth Beidou satellites launched this year. There are some 12 others, also third generation, which are scheduled for launch between this year and next. And China has indicated that global coverage of this global coverage is analog to the U.S. military's GPS, and it will be complete sometime next year. Put differently, they're tired of trusting our GPS, and like so many other countries, they're just launching their own. This pair and a future pair have an additional payload, COSPAS SARSAT. The International COSPAS SARSAT program supports a search and rescue operations by detecting and locating emergency beacons. The location of the distress beacon is then forwarded to authorities who go out to rescue the people that activated the beacon. Between September 1983 and December 2017, over 46,000 people were rescued with the help of this program. The best part? This service is provided at no cost to the distressed beacon owners or the countries the signal was forwarded to. So here is a video. This is your reminder that I will repeat, launches can be loud. And you're not seeing any of this because I completely forgot to switch slides. So let me try that again. There are days. There are days. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, here is once again the launch and your reminder that launches can be loud. And the audio is, there we go. Let's try this again. And that wasn't all that launched. This week, China also launched the Yunhai 102 weather satellite aboard a Longmach 2D from Launch Area 4, Pad 603 in the Jiuquan Satellite Launch Center. This rocket lifted off at 8:54 p.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday. That was 8:54 local on Wednesday in China. Launchpad 4 in the Jiuquan Space Center is located in the Gobi Desert in Inner Mongolia. This rocket manufacturer has announced the satellite's successful deployment into its intended polar orbit. The Longmach 2 is a two-stage rocket primarily intended to loft smaller satellites into low Earth and Sun synchronous orbits. Like most Chinese rockets, both stages have engines which use a UDMH, asymmetrical dimethylhydrazine and dinitrogen tetraoxide liquid fuel oxidizer combination, resulting in the characteristically ominous and highly toxic reddish orange flame and smoke plume that we see during launch. The Yunhai satellite is the second of its kind to be placed into orbit. Built by the Shanghai Academy of Satellite Technology, these satellites are described as meteorological satellites with the ability to monitor atmospheric and marine space environments with the additional capacity to direct disaster and basically prevent what's going to happen and mitigate it when it does happen. And here we have a picture of that toxic cloud coming out of the launch vehicle as it launches. That's a thing, people. That's a thing. Reminding us just how many nations are in the business of launching rockets right now, our next story takes us to Japan. Yesterday, Japan was finally able to launch the HTV-8 cargo module that was delayed from its originally scheduled September 10th launch. This is a resupply mission to the International Space Station. The original countdown was delayed due to a fire which started near an exit hole in the launch pad that was designed to allow exhaust gases during launch to escape through the pad to the exhaust trench below. Investigators have concluded that the most likely cause was static electricity facilitated by the presence of excess oxygen. This is what happens when you don't have a windy day. Normally, a small amount of liquid oxygen leaks from the rocket during fueling and once vaporized is carried away by the local air currents. In this case, they think exceptionally calm winds may have led to the buildup of excess oxygen, while splashing of liquid oxygen against the heat-resistant material of the pad caused the eventual static spark. Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, makers of both the rocket and the cargo module, as well as the maintainers of the Tanegashima Space Center, said in a statement, "As a result of the investigation, it was confirmed that there was a high possibility that the fire spread due to the static electricity generated by the oxygen dripping from the engine exhaust port during the propellant filling operation, which continued to blow on the heat-resistant material in the exit hole at the movable launch pad. We have taken corrective measures and have confirmed normal functioning of the rocket facility." While MHI did not specify what corrections were made. They did state that the vehicle, cargo module, and mobile launch pad sustained only minimal amounts of cosmetic damage, and that all were ready for another launch attempt. And that's the launch that we saw yesterday. This supply vessel is expected to arrive at the International Space Station early Saturday Eastern Time. The HTV-8 cargo vessel actually isn't the next capsule slated to reach the ISS, but it is the one that we're going to take a look at some pictures from. And here is its launch. It may be loud. Okay, we're going to end it off there, and I can just let you know everything went fine. It was fine. Okay. And on to our final launch. Earlier today, the Soyuz MS-15/61S launched with Commander Oleg Shripochka strapped into the command module center seat alongside flight engineer Jessica Meir and guest cosmonaut Hazza Ali Al-Mansouri. He is the first Emirate from the United Arab Emirates to fly to space. The Soyuz is performing a quick 4 orbits on their way to rendezvous with the International Space Station later today. They should dock at the Russian Zvezda module at 3:45 p.m. Eastern. It is currently unclear if we're going to be able to cover that live here on CosmoQuest. I think we're probably going to miss this one due to I have a dog that I need to go pick up at the vet. These are the realities that hit you with trying to provide live coverage. There are other channels. Please come back for future launches. I'm sorry we can't quite cover all of them. Okay, so that's what I've got. And by the way, the launch this morning of the Soyuz was just stunningly beautiful. So go catch yourself some pretty pictures. And now finally, for the things that tried to launch, or rather tried to land and didn't fully succeed, we have an update on the India Space Research Organization's Chandrayaan 2 mission. NASA has announced that while the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter was able to take images of the region where the Vikram lander was thought to have hard landed on the lunar surface, the lander itself was not seen in the images. This was possibly due to the lengthening shadows of the oncoming lunar night, as the longer shadows due to lowering sun angle may have placed the site in darkness too deep to penetrate. The LRO overflight and image-taking operation was executed on September 17th due to the current orbital position of LRO and due to the fact that it's now night. It is possible, due to the current orbital position of that craft, and while the approaching night may have affected its ability to image the site, it is also possible, however unlikely, that earlier reports of the lander being imaged from the still healthy Chandrayaan 2 orbiter were somehow incorrectly interpreted. Any further investigation into the current state of the lander will likely have to wait until more daylight. Overflights can take place. No signals of any kind have been confirmed, and being primarily solar powered, it was not expected to last through the 2-week-long solar night anyways, even under the best of circumstances. Night fell over this region on Sunday, the 21st. lunar night is going to last about 2 weeks. So, yeah, I'm going to move on to things that will be launching. Yeah, so tomorrow, the EKS-3, aka Tundra, a military early warning satellite, will launch aboard a Soyuz 2.1B rocket. It is launching into a highly elliptical orbit, which allows visual and communications coverage of high Earth latitudes. Being a military mission, live video is not expected, and the launch date time may slip as well with little or no warning. So basically, we think it will launch. They may change it on us, but it doesn't matter because we can't watch it anyways. Constructed by RKK Energia, the 14F142 type satellite is expected to take up a highly elliptical and specifically inclined Molina orbit so as to make use of the tug applied to the satellite by the Earth's gravity and rotation. This particular orbit has the craft race past the Earth at lower altitudes in its orbit while it's over areas that it's not targeting. And then it slows down and approaches geostationary rates while it's over the areas of interest. Satellites in this constellation are thought to have approximately 1 meter resolution imaging capacity in 5 light bands: ultraviolet, optical, and 3 different colors of infrared. RKK Energia points out that they can see and recognize a brush fire in an area that they are viewing within 25 seconds of it starting, and also track targets climbing above 1,000 kilometers or 600 miles in altitude. It is thought these satellites may be able to perform both tasks simultaneously. So these are pretty amazing spy satellites. And that rounds out our news for today. That's all I've got. That's all he wrote in this case. And once again, I just want to give a shout out to Dave Ballard for putting all those notes together for me as I fill in for Annie Wilson today. This really is a team endeavor putting out the daily space for you. I am your host, Dr. Pamela Gay, but making it possible is our producer, Susie Murph, my co-host, Annie Wilson, and folks like Dave Ballard that help out with writing and content when we need it. This is a production of the Planetary Science Institute, a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to exploring our solar system and beyond. We are here because of you. We are here thanks to your generous bits, subs, donations, and patronage over on patreon.com/CosmoQuestX. Thank you so much for all you do. And I will now answer your questions. Thank you for the bits. Oh, Eddie woke up. Come here, Eddie. Don't knock over. Okay. Good boy. You want this? Do you want this? You do. So we thank you the best way we know how. And this is with a really cute dog. You want to be cute? You want to be cute? There you go. Good boy. Okay, I'm now going to look for questions. Scrolling all the way back to the beginning. There's another one. Thank you so much. Come on up. Did I lose audio? Nope, I still have audio. Good boy. Good boy. You're so pretty. You're so pretty. And yet again. Come on up. There you go. Do you like this? Do you really like this? Come here. You're moving my desk, but that's okay. Yes, you are. Okay. Thank you. I'm now going to go look and see who that was that I can thank. That was Planetary Pan, Commander Unifex, and Wayne Johnson. Thank you so much, all of you, for everything you do. Thank you. Okay, now to answer your questions. Scrolling. And Kevlar 1066 donated at the beginning of the show. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm sorry that you're having bad audio experiences. I'm not sure what's going on. Okay. We apparently still have some technical issues to work out. No cows were damaged on that launch. No, it's true. China does tend to dump things on other parts of China than their launch pad as they fly over. It's a mostly empty nation, but not an entirely empty nation. Yeah, that's a thing. Okay. Yes, Larry, I believe there are currently 9 people in space. So OpenCage 5 asks about whether or not we should call the UAE astronaut cosmonaut a cosmonaut or a space flight participant. I am okay with calling him a cosmonaut. He trained for this mission. He may not be staying for a long period of time, but space is expensive. And he will be participating in things while on the International Space Station. He's just not there to do long-term experiments, EVAs, or any of the other day-to-day duties of longer-term cosmonauts or astronauts. So looking for other questions. You guys are having a rather question-free day. And as Larry points out, Yuri Gagarin, who's considered the first cosmonaut, only did a single orbit. So, yeah, when you make it to space, is it the making to space that makes you a cosmonaut or astronaut, or a taikonaut, as they call them in China? Or is it something else? Now, in the future, I think we are going to need to come up with new terms as we start to look at having space tourists. But if you have to go through the training on how to deal with emergency circumstances as one of the people, instead of as the exit row seat person, yeah, I think until then we're still pretty good. Okay, so how will the Indians call their spacefarers? I don't know. I don't know, DPI 209. These are questions that we need to answer, and I don't know the answers. But if there are no more questions, I'm going to go record the audio episode of the podcast that goes out to accompany this. And I'm going to remind all of you that if you ever miss the live show, you can catch the video archive over on YouTube. And if you'd like a cleaner, shorter, briefer, well-produced version, check out our podcast, which is available at dailyspace.org. One of the best things you guys can do to help us out is to just subscribe for free to our podcast and YouTube channel, and then, well, share out any episodes you particularly like. Thank you, Trekker Kev. Share out. Whoa, hi. Do you want this? Sorry for the sound of dog chewing in the background. Share out. Thank you, Veronica. Share out links to, well, all of your friends. You never know whose life you're going to change with science. So I will be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. That is 6 p.m. London time. As always, The Daily Space is produced by Susie Murph. Today's episode was written by our our own David Ballard. We are a production of the Planetary Science Institute, a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to exploring our solar system and beyond. And we are here to bring you launches, landings, space news, and everything in between. On Sundays, we have the Sunday Science Hour. Wednesday nights, we bring you the weekly Space Hangout. And we would love to see you at all of these things. So give us a follow. That follow is free, and always be notified when, I'm trying to figure out how to get the credits to roll, and always be notified when we're going live. So wherever you are in the world, have a fabulous morning, evening, or afternoon, and I'll see you on the other side.